Yeah, tough trip across to go play Texas State. They were coming off of a 1-0 win against Power 5 team Houston. And they're a smashing soccer team. They really are. They're good on both sides of the ball. Super athletic, well coached, well organised. And they took advantage of their first home game for the conference. And it was a tough place to go play. And we got challenged. We didn't do particularly well. But it's an opportunity for us to grow and to get better at it. And review some film and move on to this week, because games aren't going to get any easier. Roll into Thursday, we play Old Dominion on the road, so another back-to-back travel game for us that we should be used to by now. We got back late last night. We leave again on Wednesday morning. So go to Old Dominion, who have only conceded 1 goal on the year, and they won the tournament last year. I mean, what an opening 2 games of conference for us to play Texas State away and Old Dominion away. We're really going to learn something about this group and see how far this group can be pushed and how much they can be challenged this year. So we're excited to that opportunity, and hopefully we can rise to that occasion and do ourselves proud and wear the badge with some pride and go out there and put in a good performance against Old Dominion, and then we'll come back against our home opener against ULM. It's always nice to have a home game. We haven't had too many of them this year, so I know that the ladies are excited to be back here and play a home game and to have our first conference home game against another Louisiana team. It should give a little bit of rise of level to the game and what the game means, not just being a conference game, but an in-state opponent as well. So big week ahead for us. We knew that the first 3 games of conference were going to be a big challenge for us in the sense of what it represents, the road games, the level of opposition, a little bit of a rivalry in there with the Louisiana game, but we're excited about it, and it'll give us a good chance to grow.
After the result on Sunday, is it your preference to kind of have that quicker turnaround to play on Thursday rather than have the 1 match week on a Sunday to kind of get that game behind you?
It's a little bit. It's one of those ones where the opposition, they played well against us. Texas State played well, but a lot of what went wrong was our own fault. So we made a lot of mistakes in that game, and that caused them to have their opportunities. We've played some games in the past where teams have moved the ball really well and they've created their opportunities. Texas State done well. They were really hard to break down. We didn't really create a lot of opportunities. Their midfield were really good, but offensively, we made some mistakes that allowed them to have some chances. So it'll be nice to get back out there and forget about it, but it's also something we have to learn from if we want to get better this year.
First halves in the previous matches, no goals and everything like that. What is something that you've noticed that you'd really like to bottle up going forward? Because those are pretty strong in the previous 2 matches. You've been good.
Yeah, I mean, all the games. If the game ended at halftime this year, the only game we'd have lost was FAU. So I think there's a lot to look at there. I think, it's not a valid excuse, and it's not one that we're talking about because we have to figure it out, but we're just super inexperienced. And the first half, they've got intensity, they've got bite, they've got grit, they've got resilience. But then as soon as we get that little 50-minute period off and we come back and we see a shot coming against us, it's like, let's just sink into that moment. And we have to rise above that. We have to step out of that. We can't sit back and feel sorry for ourselves. We can't think that things are just going to turn around and let someone else figure it out. Each person in the field has to figure it out. As a staff, we have to figure it out. As a collective, we have to figure it out. And it's just going to take some time to learn through that and figure out what it means to win a college soccer game.
No, I know you're a man of no excuses, it seems like. But just the inexperience and being on the road constantly, do you think that's starting to take a toll on your team?
I don't think so. I think for us, it's given us a little bit of an edge to actually come out and say, okay, we can do this, because we started the game really strong against Texas State. And I'm hoping that we can still have that mindset to come out. It's just that second part of the game. But, it's never easy being on the road for 9 of 12 games, but it's part of the game. It's part of the situation. We are not going to find any excuses in what we do. And hopefully that experience there will be good for us as we go through the year and still have some big road games to play.
You talked about that ULM interstate game is going to have a little extra juice to it. Can you kind of expound a little more on kind of the importance of kind of having that game also having that game at home on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's huge. ULM have been a great team in the conference. A few years ago, they finished second. We went and played them at their place last year and nipped the game from them in a really close game. So, you're expecting that every year it's always a turnover. Hey, they got us last year, we got them last year. Let's make sure it's a good fight this year. But close down the road, we probably recruit a lot of the same players. I know there's players. There's one player in particular that transferred from ULM to come here, Gabby Felix. So I know she's excited to play a lot of her old teammates. It gives an extra special moment of what college soccer is, being so close and being in the same area where a lot of the same faces you see, a lot of the same recruits are talking to the same schools. It gives it that little bit of edge, and it's exciting, and that's what it should be.
You talked about ODU's defense. What do they do so well defensively that causes problems for offenses?
They are so organized, disciplined, structured. It is meticulous down to the T. Every person has a role, every person has a responsibility, and they execute it to the highest level of college soccer. It is magnificent to watch from a neutral standpoint. Challenging as a coach to look at it and say, okay, how do we solve this? But I mean, everyone, it's like a well-oiled machine over there. They move so fluidly off the ball, with the ball, without the ball. It doesn't matter, but they are really organized and structured, and they do well on both sides of the ball. And it's going to be really good for us to get out there at their place and see that in person. And hopefully we can leave that game and say, okay, we gave our best. We challenged them. We rose to the occasion, and we got a little bit better today.
You had yesterday, Gabby Plake was able to make her first collegiate appearance yesterday. Played 14 minutes, but for someone who came in, had to sit out her first year with a knee injury, then got hurt in the scrimmage last year, missed the whole season. Just having her on the field, what was the experience there?
I was over the moon for that young woman. She is an inspiration to everybody. I don't know many people that could have gone through what she went through over the last 2-3 years, starting in high school when she first got that injury. And for her to come up, and she turns up every single day at practice, and she's been putting in a fight. And we went into the game yesterday, and as soon her first touch on the ball, she completed a pass. And that may seem small, it may seem insignificant, but to go into your very first college game, to be in that occasion, to have someone running at you, to someone pressing at you in the heat of a battle, and to go out there at 0-0 and have the composure to put your foot on the ball and connect it, it just speaks volume to her character and who she is as a person. She's a natural born leader. She's an inspiration to everybody. She connects with everyone on the team. Everybody loves her. And I think everybody in the stands, everyone on the bench, we could have been down 8-0, and I think everybody would have been over the moon to see that young woman step on the field. And it was a highlight of the day yesterday, to be honest with you, to see her go in there. And quite frankly, she could have probably played 84 minutes. She just didn't even look as if she had missed a game ever.